SAMRO is an organization. SAMRO is an organization that's based in Mampane, Johannesburg. Our basic mandate is the collection and the distribution of music royalty rights only for performance. So a brief background about it is that a society is only allowed to collect one right per society. So we've got SAMRO that you've heard of, we've got Capeso, we've got SAMPRA, and each of these collecting societies only collect for one. And SAMRO in this instance collects for performing rights. How you become a member of SAMRO? By notifying us of your work. So you literally either come to our offices or download a form, a SAMRO notification of works form, and you assign your rights for us. You assign your copyright, to us. What you're basically doing is saying, this is my right, it's my copyright to the song. I'm giving it to SAMRO, and I'm giving you, SAMRO, as an organization, the permission to go out and collect. So where my song plays, you go out and collect the royalties, and you will distribute the royalties back to me. You assign your rights to us for as long as you want to stay a member of SAMRO, as our colleague Kaiser has explained. And should at any given time you decide that you no longer want to become a member of SAMRO because you want to move to another society or you move to another country and you want to assign them to that country, that is okay. But let us know that I'm no longer interested in having SAMRO administer and take care of my copyright for this music. I'm going to give it to another society, and that's fine. We will then start collecting for you within South Africa, and the other societies that you've then given your rights to will do the collection for you. So, how you become a SAMRO member from the time you give us your application form? You'll send through your application form to us, or you come drop it off at the office. So, the minute you drop it off, you don't immediately become a SAMRO. You become what we call a candidate. A prospect, yes. You become what we call a prospect member. You need to reach a certain tier in terms of the collection of your royalties, so a certain value of your royalties for you to become a member. Every single 3 months, a different department within us, which is the rights holder department, submits a list of members that have reached a certain tier for election. So we submit this to the board, where we would look at all these members and see how much you've earned within a space of 3 years. So it's not that you submitted in January and then in March you're like, okay, you've earned this much in March. We'll calculate how much you've earned within the 3 preceding years from the time you submitted. Once you get to the 100 rand tier, you will then become a member of SAMRO. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, so you drop off your form. Once you reach it, how you get to the tier, it means that once your song has played, either on TV or on radio, to get to a value of 100 rand, that's when you will then to become a candidate member of SAMRO. And then SAMRO distributes so we distribute and collect from different avenues, you might say. We distribute for TV, we distribute for live performances, meaning a performance here at Thalakgale. We collect royalties, we collect for this, and we distribute for that. If there's a festival that's happening somewhere, it's also that's live performance. SAMRO is collect for those festivals or those performances, and we distribute for that too. And for any airplay on radio, we distribute for that too. And we do also distribute for live streaming, but it's not collected by us. So Capeso collects mechanical rights. Capeso will collect for that. They'll send the money to SAMRO, and they will part of your distributions. If you've ever earned from SAMRO, you will know that we distribute at different times of the year for different for the different avenues that we then collected. I'm just going to read those out for you. So for radio and general, our distribution will run in February and in March. For audio visuals, which is the TV, our distributions will run in March and April. For live performances, we distribute in April. And film, we distribute in October. For foreign, meaning, so what part of what SAMRO does is we collect overseas. So our territory is, yes, South African, but we have a agreements, which we call, with what we call sister societies. So in the US, we've got SAMRO. We have an agreement within that organization. All over the world, we have sister agreements with these. They collect on their side, but then they pay the money to SAMRO, and then we would pay the money to you as the musician. This is the foreign distribution that they run in July and January and September. The risk of not being a SAMRO member is that if your music is played in any other country, they might not be able to pay you here because they only. So how relationships with sister societies work is you only pay to the sister society that you've been affiliated with. So they'll only pay the money to SAMRO, and then it is then our job to pay the money to you. So that is in very short how SAMRO works. Like I said, I want to keep it short because we'd like to take questions, but we're not going to take a lot of questions that are today, but we will stick around, Deborah and myself, to take some off and we need to follow the program. I think we're an hour behind.
Alright, so we take the questions then. Okay. Are you impressed?
Anyways, my question has to do with if you're like a record label and you're representing artists and you're coming to do something to register the music that they have, what do you have to bring on as a record label? If you're trying to register with SAMRO, how do you go about that?
So, what you mean is that you are basically representing the artist. So you bring, so you think that an artist would bring.
Hello everybody, guys. Do we have composers and publishers? Okay, I know publishers I saw shared right there. Do we have composers in the house? Nice. Music composers. Right, by show of hands. Oh wow. Do we have authors? SAMRO members? Guys, so many Thalakgale. Okay, but it's good to have you all here. To answer the question of at SAMRO, we administer for composers, publishers, and authors, and we do not administer or do anything for record labels. However, you could register as a publishing company, and then again as a publishing company, because we administer for publishers, composers, and authors only. No, for IRCS codes, you have to go to visa. Yes. Any other questions? Is there a night or let's bring another money? Christos.
Hello. Alright, I think it's easier if you come forward. Let's choose the people. There's one, please come forward. And then 2, 3, 4. That's enough. Okay, so please come forward and we'll start. Come forward.
Hi there, how are you? Good. I just wanted to know this SAMRO thing. Like, you guys say your song has to play a number of times on radio before you can actually become a member, right? Before you move to a candidate. How do I know if my songs, are you guys going to notify me once my song is played a number of times on the radio?
Okay, are you a member?
No, I registered and I was told that you friends have to play on the radio first, then you become a member, which was speak.
Okay, what happens is what we do at SAMRO, we collect, we license music users, and then we collect licensing fees, which we pay out as royalties. So what happens is what day is distributed 18, right? And then whatever distributions that they pay out now in 2018, and the distribution is which or other licensing fees, which you collected 2016 to 2017. So now So now if you apply for membership today and your music, let's say, played say in 2016 already, and you're in high rotation, but you're not even a member. So chances are we would have collected your money anyway. So what happens is when you register, we will check if your funds are not sitting on an account called NS, non-society, because what happens is that the contractor will pay us for everything and everything. So now, if your money is sitting on the NS, on NSS, what we do is we will just link your IPI number. Your IPI number is like your IT number in terms of the music industry or in terms of the collecting societies. We will link that and then we will distribute NSS pending on when you apply for membership. If you apply before we distribute NSS, if maybe say you're intended to distribute NSS July and you apply in April that month, then it will automatically be implemented into membership and every month. So it depends when you apply for membership and when you use this one, actually on either radio, TV, or wherever, where you use commission.
Okay. So every time we have a song, you go back to SAMRO the whole time. Because then I went there and I asked the same question, and they were like, you can't even go online.
Okay,
we went online, that was not working. I'm sure some people are going through this.
Guys, come down here, right? Okay, what happens is, one, you apply for membership, and applying, like my colleague said, does not necessarily mean you are a member. You will have to wait until a certain threshold when you get a certain membership. And then for you to be able to access the web portal, you have to have registered, you have to receive your SAMRO number, which is called the BR business relation number. If Mr. here has never applied for membership, cannot go and register online on SAMRO. You have to have registered before, and then you call the call center, you phone them, and then you tell them that you want to access the portal. Then they'll give you credentials on how to access the portal. Then going forward, you notify. That's one. Two, whenever you have a new work, whether new music, as you guys in the industry call it, whenever you have released or you have worked on whatever new work, you will have to come notify us, because now even if I know who you are, I see your song play on TV, I cannot notify on your behalf. You need to let me as SAMRO know that label or SAMRO, this is me, this is my song, this is who and who that I worked with on the song. So you need to complete the notification form. However, if you are a member, you can just go straight to the portal, because now the nice thing about the portal is that your notifications go straight to the system. So if you go to SAMRO and then you sit there and then somebody else type in your notification, then it has to go via the queue. It might be on the system after 4 or 5 months, depending on whatever that person is doing. So the best way for you to make sure that your music is notified is for you to notify on the portal. And to also add on that is that whenever you do notify, you must make sure that you credit everybody, guys. We are tired of people fighting Mampane or I worked on this song, and then this one, because the cover is or God knows what it was for, and then you end up not crediting other people. And what I normally give advice to people I work with most of the time is, how do you go studio? Get just a paper, or even if it's some notification, and write the split so that you know, because now sometimes so just make sure while you're still in the studio, you just make sure you sign something. Whoever is getting 2%, whoever 1%, and then that will also add instead of as a proof of notification, but at least display, because the split has to be accurate, guys. Thanks.
I just have a quick question as well regarding the splits of the music. So I submit my music to you guys, and once I start making money, obviously that's when I go up to the threshold which you told us about, the first threshold, right? So now, if I submit my music to you guys and we do the split with my partner, and then the music will obviously go to a publisher, how are you guys protecting our split? The one that we made when we were in the studio, as you guys are the collecting agency, from the publisher, and with the fact that when our music is being performed, now be it on radio, online radio, be it maybe on idols, maybe somebody sings my song on idols, how do I get that percentage that we agreed on through you to the publisher?
Okay, first things first. If the two of you, say me and you, Lebo and Lebo and Wonga goes to Joe, we're going somewhere. So now if Lebo has got a publisher, Lebo was on the notification form, would credit the publisher, or the publisher would notify SAMRO on behalf of Lebo. So now it will depend on the contractual agreement that Lebo and the publisher has. So now if the two of you have the same publisher or separate publishers, whatever the case may be, the publisher needs to be credited. That's one mistake that most composers and authors do. They do not credit their publishers. We end up paying 100% to them, and then at a later stage, the publisher will come and query, and you have to do adjustments. So whatever money that we pay to you, which was due to the publisher, right, Sakhe and I will debit to account and then credit the publisher. So now what happens is, if your music has to be used elsewhere, like in Idols for instance, those people have to get permission from your publisher, if you do have a publisher. However, if you and me work together in a song, you have a publisher and I don't. So now your publisher, when they notify, they will notify your splitting somehow. They do not touch my space. If me and you go 50-50, and then you and your publisher go 50-50, so I will get my 50, you will get a 25, the publisher will get 25. That's how it's supposed to be.
I think it's also important to know that when you sign with, let's say, a record label or a publisher, it's not, for lack of a better word, it's not up to SAMRO for making sure that it protects your split with your publisher. So what you sign with the contract with your publisher, well, you know what, label for another publisher, I can't tell you 80% of everything in 90 years. So it's sort of unfair for you to come at a later stage, post SAMRO and say, from this 100%, I only got 20%. My publisher also did 80%. When it was you who signed the agreement with the publisher, who agreed to give the publisher a huge share of, of that state, SAMRO will only pay according to the agreement that way. We don't make up the split. So, I know Kaiser mentioned this earlier, that it's very important to know what you're signing, and it's very important to understand what you're signing. It's very important to ask the necessary questions, don't be scared to look like Skyler. There's no Skyler, Both are your publisher for what does this mean? Okay, does this mean that you'll get more? Oh, okay, fine. Is it only for this year? Okay, next year, but is this forever? Or what happens when I die? Will I get it back? It's important to ask those questions because it's the same thing. You sign it today, and you sign it today for this CD that you're making. 3 years from now, you decide to go independent, and but the songs from the CD are still playing. Just because you are now independent, it doesn't mean that your publisher, at that time, is not entitled to that. They'll still come back 10 years from now and they'll still say, the song that you made 10 years from now, it played on Metro, we still entitled to that 80%, even if you are independent today. So you need to also understand how long that agreement lasts, the longevity of it. If you sign a lifetime contract, if you sign your right away to someone, or 50% of your right away, if it's a lifetime of years, there is no action. Even if you do to them, it goes to their age, or it goes to their country. So just make sure that if it's a 5-year contract, give us one album deal, give one album. And then that you must know that album will always there forever belong to them, and yes, at some point, but we're feeling nice, we'll give it back to you, which is unlikely.
Hello. My question is SAMRO only dealing with performing artists, rights, or DJs are also included? DJs, you register DJs and call the DJ?
We also it's authors, publishers, and composers, because one may be a moving artist, but you don't decide to author, publisher, or composer. So you just make sure that you've got the distinction here. And then the DJs, and that's what I'm serious here. Hey! The DJs come allow, they're supposed to be licensed.
because what happens is Rockefeller will steal them a gig here and pay them a gig fee, and then they come here and then they play Oskilo song, they play Ralf, they play Christos, whatever. So now you can't be making music out of other people's works. So Amula, what needs to happen is you as a DJ, you need to be licensed with us, and it's not a lot of money, it's just under a grand, you know? It's just under, no, I don't want imagine, I'm teaching later, I'm teaching later, and then the camera, young people on the next I play your music, right? I made mine out of your compositions. When I'm doing one, right? And then I come here, I make mine out of your work, and then when you don't get anything, will work fair on you. Hell no. So DJs are supposed to be licensed, however, there are those, you know, by the way, they are licensed. My brother, they don't want to go to.
Can I support the DJs of that? I think SAMRO and whoever else wants to do whatever with the DJs needs to have a meeting with them and negotiate. Because I think if you're paying these licenses, they play it at the already getting paid. So I think that's it. And from a perspective of a producer and a composer, I've told SAMRO millions of times, if I play house music, it doesn't go to house music because the distribution doesn't work right away. So until that is sorted, then we'll find to get the licenses.
You tell me.
I'm not fighting, I'm just raising my point, and I want to agree on it, unless we have a system which creates playlists which are accurate what is played in the club. Unfortunately, the licensing doesn't really make sense because you don't know who to allocate the money to. Sorry for that.
And that's just one part that really doesn't too many industries. To be honest, it's always very difficult to pinpoint everybody. It's the stuff to regular. Maybe one day the system will work out to be an entertainer and pick up that. But I mean, I think that the other issues, I think the main thing is body music because I think it's the same thing as government wants to do something about consulting people and we just force tomorrow, you're forced to pay $5,000 every month for something that you don't know about that consultation. That cannot happen. It will not happen. And therefore, I think once the consultations happen, the DJs will really do it. And this is different, by the way, to mobile DJs. Because as a mobile DJ, you are moving around as a union. That's completely different. So I am in support of that, okay? But when it comes to playing all these events, they're already collecting money. If you have an event, by the way, suppose someone says I'm going to pay publishers or assistant fee for the hours that you trade during that. They'll tell you how much it is, depending on how big your event is. I can remember that. But the double pay and where it goes to, I don't know. And until we consult and make sure the money goes to you, the producers, then I'm happy. I don't care if it comes to me specifically. But let it go to the industry, our industry. Because even radio doesn't pay us. Because I tell you what, they don't play this stuff songs, we don't have mixes, and what happens is the mixes are not really targeted. And none of the songs are paid. So none of the, especially the guys who are doing instrumental stuff, the mixes at late at night. It's a bit of a problem. So this needs to be fixed. Next question.
Can I just interject, sorry, before you pose your question. I'm specifically, responding to this side. This is, I suppose, a challenge that SAMRO has. You are right. We need to get to a point where we have a system that reports accurately as to what is played. If a song plays on TV or plays on radio, what that station or that particular establishment is supposed to do, part of their mandate, what they're supposed to do is submit to SAMRO what we call cue sheets. This is literally saying, correct, Thato song played for 3 seconds. Christos' song played for 10 seconds. The cue sheet tells us exactly whose song played and how long it played. Well, with that, they then give us however much they pay. So let's say the station is licensed for 1,000 rand a year. They will pay us this 1,000 rand, and we will then take the cue sheet that they have submitted and be able to accurately, it's 1,000 rand divided by, let's say, yes, because they don't report what songs they play. That's what I'm saying. So, what part of your license agreement, be it a club or be it a station, is that they're supposed to report the usage to us. When you don't report your usage to SAMRO, it's difficult for SAMRO to allocate those funds appropriately to the relevant people that either your song play at that club or that establishment, which is then, yes, it's a twofold. It falls on us because it says that as us at SAMRO, we need to be more active in terms of literally going to that every single station, every single club and knocking and saying, hi guys, you guys forgot to give us your cue sheet, or you forgot to give us your reporting sheet. But then that speaks to capacity to do that. Because they also know that they're supposed to give us that. But if it's a club, they can easily say, hi, Ronald don't have somebody every day, watch the couple one song plays. Which is justified because they're going to give us the same story. They don't have the capacity to track each and every single thing. Sometimes a song plays on a radio, maybe a community radio station, that's not big enough to be able to report to SAMRO what songs play. When that happens, that radio will say, we don't have the time to report because they don't have the capacity. But in the same break, SAMRO can say, we don't have 3,000 staff members to listen to each and every single station from 12 to 12 to say, we don't have the capacity. That's why we asked the different establishments to report to us in order for us to be able to distribute correctly. I'm not sure if that makes sense. Thank you. We'll take the last question.
No, bro. One more.
There are even more.
There's 600 more. You asked 5 questions.
I'm sure they say it.
Hi, my name is Zigalelo. So, I've got a question. I know about 2 artists, right? What happens if an artist has been performing, they've been touring the world and whatnot, but they haven't been registered on SAMRO, and then now in 2018, since they've been performing since let's say 2010, now they apply and they get it. What is the process for them to claim all that work? And if it's even in place, if there is something of that, and how do you quantify all that work, right? How do you claim it? And then secondly, perhaps for all this claiming and all this work this time, I know you guys don't have notification, so we would notify you of our works, but you don't give us feedback as to we have received your work. We need to literally look at the portal and then we need to see a code over there. So what is the process around that? I find it very tricky because you can't really get like solid feedback on it.
What happens is, in every organization or business, they've got their business rules. And one of SAMRO's business rules is that it go back 5 distributions, which will be 3 years. So now, if it happens that your music was active in 2010 or 2001 for that matter, even if you were a member, that does not only apply to people who are not members. If you do not notify us of your works and 5 distribution costs or 3 years, unfortunately, there's something, I don't know if you guys have been to SAMRO. There's a huge swimming pool at SAMRO. Whenever we do these workshops, we always tell members that if you did not receive your royalties, they go back to the distribution pool. There's like a huge swimming pool and there's like a whole lot of money there. So when you guys don't play, you go there free and projects are interesting. But what happens is, obviously if you don't play, that money unfortunately goes back to the distribution pool and then it gets pre-distributed in the next distribution. So now, if you've had your works which have been active for like more than 3 years and you did not pay, then unfortunately. However, there are instances where you might be lucky when you'll be able to get money, but I wouldn't really advise you to stay and not notify or not become a member and then come to play like 10, 15 years later. That money will probably be gone, unfortunately.
So, one more question I forgot to ask. So, what is the accuracy level of portal versus the manual solution? Because, from what I was aware, that
what was the 3 months manual?
It's actually vice versa.
So manual is
When you notify manually, it goes through a whole lot of departments. You get to SAMRO, you walk in, there's consultants there in the front office, you notify, and then they put your notification on the system, and then it goes through to another department, which they have to capture, and then it goes through to another department, which they have to QC, and it goes through to another department, which they will have to update copyrights depending on whether it's a new notification or you didn't notify the way that was notified. Then it goes back to QC, and then only then. And it depends. I mean, someone could have like 200 notifications in the queue, and I can't really say for sure which is yours, we captured such and such and such a thing. But if you notify on the web portal, it goes straight into the portal. So that is why we try and advise people to go into the portal.
how much do you pay in house
For what?
for when the music is played?
It depends where your music is played and how long your music is played. And why? We've got commercial registrations, we've got community registrations, we've got public registrations. It depends where your music is played. And we've got other registrations which are not licensed. So now it really depends. I can't really say when your music is played where you will get X amount of money. What happens is broadcasters, how we license them. We give them a blanket license, and then we will charge them a certain percentage of the profit that they made in that year. So now the profit will vary from year to year. So now it can't be cast in the stone to say that if your song is played on Metro, you will automatically get 50 rand, or if your song is played twice or 30 times, this is the amount you get. It depends where it was played, how often it was played, how long it was played, how much that broadcaster is paying. Then we'll be able to tell you exactly how much you should get if once all those recommendations wasn't taken into consideration.
We need to move on. Ladies, thank you very much. It was very helpful. And by the way, I just want to say something about SAMRO, and not talking about everybody. Brilliant body, and very, very focused when it comes to collections and as a producer, really, really good. I think very up to date one. The details excited to discuss.
Yes, and as well, I think they are very responsive. If you have questions and you call, then you usually find answer there. Other than that, the two ladies there, you can still ask them. Maybe we need to do a conference only about legal stuff, because we could go on the whole day, I think, you know. It's a bit unfortunate we had to cut it short, but we are need to move on, otherwise we'll run out of time. Chris and myself will be speaking about artist development, artist management, which is kind of say social media and music in the digital age and the diffusion of it. So maybe I start with artist development. Where single and tell you our input is we finance a video or so forth. Organize some radio interviews for you, and that's often it. Then there's a very different kind of artist development, which probably is called more mentoring of people. I know Chris mentored a whole lot of people during these years, and I try to do the same with the label. The latest mentoring or still ongoing mentoring is maybe Sir LSG. I had other people before, like Artistic Soul and so forth, and we did a radio interview on power to promote this workshop. And Chris was saying something where I needed to think about for quite a while, because he said you can do one person every 5 to 7 years. And I look back on who I mentored and who I worked with, and it's pretty much like he said, you can't do much more, because a real mentoring not only includes I finance you something and I maybe call my friend and mentor so that you get an interview. It goes way further. You really work on a daily basis together. You mentor the person obviously where it's needed, so you identify the person, and if he has a great ear but doesn't know how to produce, you show him, or doesn't know how to mix maybe properly, you show him how to mix. If you think he lacks maybe social skills, you will as well be there for him and mentor him completely, but this means you will handpick that person, and you will not be able to do this for 20 people at the same time. So how do you get mentoring? I'm honest with you, on a daily basis I get an email from someone saying, I'm DJ XY, I do deep house, so can't you mentor me? And as an approach, it's not enough, you know. Everyone is a DJ, and the approach already doesn't tell me anything about that person. You know, we all love deep house, so.
And I think, to be honest, that is not going to work. It's a hand-picked situation. When you mentor somebody, it's hand-picking. It's a marriage. You choose somebody and you stick with them, and some people take longer than others, and you have to believe in them. So it's a believing game. You see somebody's talent and you believe in them and you groom them. It's not easy today as it was before. As much as we have social media, but let's not forget everybody's on social media. Social media is very, very confusing. Everybody looks at numbers and they think that's how big the person is. I'll go into that on the next segment because it is social media, but let's stick to the artist managers and so forth. So, being honest, somebody says, look, can't you just book me? He thinks that if he's part of the label and he's a no brand, because he's part of the label, people will book him. Doesn't work that way. People book you because they know you. And henceforth, you need to mentor somebody and take them to the stage where people know them. And you have to, I mean, I can't take a new artist if I don't feel he's ready, or DJ, whatever, and put them on a big stage for 30,000 people and he embarrasses himself. It will be me going backwards and so forth. So I need to make sure that they're ready and they understand. And like I said, not everybody's the same. So it starts with believing in somebody, and unfortunately we handpick them. And we could handpick you because we bumped into you, or because you spoke to me today. But like I say, it takes a long time. I mean, I've mentored maybe 4 or 5 people in my life, and my career is, I've been doing this for 32 years. So, and there's other people that I've helped, but there's people that I've specifically mentored, and you know, and that is it. And people don't understand it, you know, but unfortunately that's the truth. And I won't be able to help you, and probably somebody who's passionate in the industry won't be able to in any other way. And it's not because we're rejecting you. We can advise you, but this is the advice that we're giving. There's a lady yesterday on Facebook that said, you know, I'm DJing and I want you to be my manager. And I said, oh, well, I don't know what you do. So I just happened to go on the profile. She's got pictures, handbags, shoes, not even one DJ picture. You know, so you haven't started even yourself. Nobody even knows you're a DJ. Even if somebody heard you something, they go to your page with handbags. I don't know, you know, it doesn't make sense, you know, start there. And I actually told her, find it offensive or not, but I said, I mean, start there, fix yourself first, you know, and I said, either way, the best thing is for a young DJ, and I'm going to say this, get a residency. If you just started, get a residency. Build your name here, at Rockefeller, wherever. Get a residency in your area, even if it's an average place, you'll move on and get better. Make your name in the small places that you can, at weddings or whatever. Make your name there, you'll move to the better place, and then you'll be at a level where, you know, you can get further mentored in a way. And they will find you, believe you.
If you're talented, talent doesn't just go aside. They'll find you. It might take you longer, but they'll find you.
Yes, and I mean, to recap, as much as we would like to help everyone, considering how much time you spend with that person, it needs to be a hand-picked person. As well, it's important that you get along with that person for such a long time, you know. You pretty much share your life with that person you mentor, so it wouldn't work out if you don't get along with that person, or ideally, you don't need to be friends necessarily, but it helps if you have a good relationship. Otherwise, it's hard to mentor a person who, you know, doesn't feel you.
And other times it doesn't work out. I mean, I've mentored people, I'm not going to mention names, and we were doing one thing today, I don't know where they are, you know. They're somewhere else, which is fine. I think it's growth and people decide where they want to go. But even the vision that you had for somebody, you know, doesn't even work out. Because we live in a world where money, fancy things, all those things, they seem to count more. And I don't know, for me and a lot of other people, and I know Ralph's like that, Vinny, and so forth, and other people, you know, passion and the love of what you do. No matter whether today it feels like certain music is not as good as what it was. I think it's just as good. And whatever, it's just that we don't want false hype. And for me, it's not about numbers. I don't care how many people follow me. I'd rather have 10 true followers that if I go somewhere, they'll be there and they'll support me, and have 1 million. I don't even know who they are. And that's what's happening today. And let's jump into social media then. I mean, I always tell people, they talk about how do I build my social profile. I said, do what you do. Reflect your life, your gigs. And if you have nothing to offer, then don't offer it. You know, that's it. You know, I mean, and then people are so impatient to get numbers. I mean, it's easy. I mean, just be naked or post naked women. Sorry, no offense to anyone. And you see those people get the most likes and they have the most followers. The more naked you are, or crap you talk, the more you follow. Honestly. So, you know, maybe they want to do it for endorsements later. I don't care about those endorsements. I care about what I do, and I think if you want to be in this industry and you're passionate about it, do it because you love it, and do what you love. Stay away from the rest, because having more followers doesn't make you better than anybody else. And don't let people tell you different. Honestly, I don't care. I think out of the deep house guys I have the least followers, I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't bring me more gigs or less.
I think you are in a very privileged position. You wouldn't need social media to get your gigs anyway. In general, I think in these days it's important to have social media sites on at least the big networks. So you need a Facebook page, you need a Twitter account, and Instagram. And those are where people see you. So Chris said, just post what you do. I disagree a little bit. Be real, because people feel if you're real. But if parts of your life don't fit into what you do professionally, or still as a hobby maybe, but want to become into a profession, you need to consider that people look for information about you on those sites. So don't post naked women, and don't post only booze and stuff like this. It happens to me too, you know. People write to me, can't I be part of the stable? But there's not enough information in that email I receive, so I will go to their social sites to get an impression. And what Chris said, if I see there's nothing about music, but more about partying, naked women, and alcohol, I will be not interested in mentoring that person. Even I might be wrong, because it might be the nicest person, but it's the first impression people have of you. So take care about your social media. Think about what you post. Obviously, you would post your gigs and stuff, but what are you doing in between? It is a personal decision if you consider it important. I decided for myself, I want to care about my socials, and I in the meantime have like a social media schedule. I know what I post next Wednesday already, so I plan ahead. Think about such things and just know that social media is your business card.
Music in the digital age and its distribution. Difficult one. I think let me rather start by saying that the future that I see it, and we make music to promote ourselves, not to make money. It's really difficult, and you can make money, but one in a million make money. So that means none of you, or maybe one of you, will make money out of it by selling your music. That doesn't mean you shouldn't sell it. Okay, let's start there. Because selling it is part of the marketing. But I think, to be honest, in the next 5 years, maybe even less, we're going to give it away. We're actually going to just send promos, make sure it's played, make sure we're promoting ourselves, and make our money on the performance. That now becomes a problem. It's another topic, but I'm just going to jump into it quickly, because what happens to the producer if you can't perform? You know, so he's producing songs for you or for other people, but he can't perform and he can't really make money. You know, that's where the publishing kicks in and stuff like that, but do you make enough? You know, there's all those questions to be answered, but it's not, as a matter of fact, most record labels, and I'll give an example from mine, you don't really make money. You're lucky to break even when you bring out a project. So if your mindset is to bring out a project and make money, probably it's not going to happen. And I'm not the only one with the problem. It's a worldwide phenomenon. You sell 500, 300,000, and then there's times 100 out there, times that by 100. There's 100,000 copies out there. You know, and people are not responsible enough, they don't respect the industry enough to support the artists. And there's nothing we can do about it. What do we do? You know, I mean, we're talking about it, and I wish people would, because I believe in that strongly. I believe in even supporting people. Even if Ralf send me a promo, but I can buy it, I'll try to buy it, because you're supporting the industry, you're supporting it, because it's expensive to make good music, get musicians and so forth, and you don't get that money back. But unfortunately, we see it as an investment. You know, but for a young person, imagine how difficult it is, because he doesn't even have a cent. And it has to go out there. But I mean, just keep that in your mind, that do this for marketing. You know, and then when you collect money out of your performance and all these things that you do, keep money aside to push the next project. So use the fact that you're getting marketed and becoming bigger and making more money, and take part of that money to invest in the production of your product and get it out digitally, because that will bring you more money again through your performance and so forth. And that's kind of my take on the digital side. Let Ralf.
Regarding the distribution itself, we already mentioned that physical products are kind of dying out. So we, at some point, will be only digital. And to distribute your music, the easiest is really to find a digital distribution. There are various in the country and even more elsewhere. Find a distributor. I think the importance of labels decreases. You mustn't necessarily release on Katsaitis music or GOGO music anymore to get your music out there. It's easy to do it yourself, you know. Just take a name, say, that's my label now, approach a distribution, and you know, get your music on ideally every platform. There might be a hurdle because even strong distributions struggle to get on all platforms if the label isn't well known enough. So that might still be a reason to go to Katsaitis music, because you will end up on all platforms. But in general, this will go away too. I think we are moving away from labels. We are moving towards individuals which distribute their music via digital distributors, and that's the future, I think.
I think, you know, we can talk about this for long, but I think the best thing is let's get your questions, because then we can ask precisely. All right, let's start there, because you know that you can, but you, okay, come on up. Anybody else outside you? Okay. This side, anybody? Okay, so it's not important. Or someone's scared. Four. You want to ask? Sure.
Hi everyone. I'm just some questions for authors. I wanted to get some information on them because I've written, I'm Kevin Allowed, by the way. I've written a few reviews on artists and I started out teaching right, on my own blog. So now I'm doing for Chymamusique house, right. And I wanted to ask, what's the problem between house and hip hop? Why is hip hop money, but house is struggling?
Who says hip hop is making money? Only I'm sure they get better because music is more popular currently than house music is. So promoters are willing to give them higher fees. I doubt they make really more money with their music unless you are played a lot on radio and you are paid by SAMRO a nice check at the end of the year. Other than that, social media is a smokescreen. I can go out there, stand in front of a Porsche or something and tell you I'm cool,
And I think, look, those that make, and there's a lot of them, those that make music for money, a lot of them are your pop artists, and they die along the way, and not a physical death, they just die, and a lot of them are going to die, and that is it. So that's how it goes. That's why I say it's either passion or whatever. Honestly, you're either going to do this because you love to do it and you're going to stick to it and do it and reach greater heights, but if you're going to do it for money, you're going to die eventually. You'll get that hit and people are going to forget you. Not in the name gaining things, but if you go back through the years, you'll see artists that were so big.
It just shows in the US, in the US market.
So many big producers just going to the quarters, actually 90% of them. Because you know what? Where were they going? It eventually became about money. And everything was a repetition. A lot of the music that's out today is a repetition. That's big and played on radio is a repetition. So you know what? Can I be honest with you? You know what will happen? They'll kill themselves. Eventually radio won't even want to hear that type of music, and I'm going to say what it is because there's so many different genres. Everybody's just copying and anything. Anybody's a vocalist nowadays. Vocoder, put this, put that, and stuff like that. And it's not music. Basically, most radio stations, not all, but most, 90%, play crap. They play for social media people.
When I said who tells you they are making money, there are obviously a number of hip-hop artists in the country who surely make a lot of money, but at the same time, we have the same in house music. So I'm not sure who makes more money, if it's Black Coffee or AKA, if you want to mention hip-hop house. We have to consider that we have to consider that we are in a very competitive industry, and I always say it's a bit like sports, everybody likes to do it, but only a few can make it to the top where you really start making an income which allows you to live out of it. That's, I guess,
and be honest as well, genres don't matter. I don't have anything against any genre, honestly. As long as I just feel there should be an effort and a talent, in that genre, then I wouldn't say I am against it and I hate it, but it messes up the industry. Our youth, with the music that's around, most of it, is messed up. And I'm not talking about your AKAs. I think AKA specifically is talented. There's so much. And I enjoy different genres, and I think you should. What you play, that's your profession and where you choose to go. But I appreciate different genres, and I appreciate what different people do. But once you start losing it, and it's not about the music, and it's about booze and about girls and what you're selling, you know what? They have an influence on society and they don't know it. And they're destroying the society, basically. And I think you, as an artist or somebody or as a DJ that eventually will headline there, let your mindset be different. We're all prone and we make mistakes. We're not perfect in life. But I think you know exactly what I'm saying. I mean, what we do And the way we project ourselves, our fans look at us and they think it's right. And when we are doing wrong things, it messes up society. So artists have a responsibility to society, I think. There must be certain norms, there must be a certain line. And I'm not sure if it's there now, honestly. And maybe it's something you should think of. Maybe you should even think of, who am I following? I think of that sometimes.
Just a quick question. I'm at a point in my life where I don't want to be influenced by what I hear on radio, what I see in media. But at the same time, the people that make a lot of noise do not bring anything back to us. And those are the guys that we'll see on social media, where they get corporate gigs. And guys that are writing good music, they never get to that platform. So I think the question that he was asking was that, why is it that guys that put in the effort into their music, guys that write powerful lyrics, never get to perform at a big stage where there's 30,000 people? But someone that can just throw himself on the floor gets bookings for the whole of December. So it's kind of, I don't know who exactly is the culprit. Is it the people that we give our music to? Or, I don't understand. Who, if we're not making money as the AKAs, who is taking that money from us?
I think, you know what, the media in general, they focus so much on negativity and hype and all these things, that's what's important. So the media doesn't push music anymore, it's about hype. Once again, if you have a video, even if I make a great video, it'll be like, how popular is it for me to play it? You know what I mean? There's no one in the media or in television stations, radio stations, who do it for the love and sit down and listen to music. And I'm not going to say all, because not all stations are like that, but unfortunately 99% are. And there isn't. So how do you overcome that? That's what you're asking. You go to the underground, and that's where we started, and we are. And that's why we can be just as powerful today. Now it's difficult for a young man just to go, but it's easier to start in the underground, believe me. And you know what? The underground will always be more powerful. I don't know about it's not about me being here and working here, but I know what I want. The underground is powerful. Revolution starts at the underground.
Yeah. Not only more powerful, I find people in the underground as well more loyal. You find real loyal fans in the underground, while a lot of that media hype Chris was talking about is temporary, you know. If you don't throw yourself on the floor anymore because you're tired of it, everything is gone, you know. You will not be booked anymore. So you can decide if you want to throw yourself on the floor or be naked on social media all the time, or otherwise probably a big amount of those followers will leave you or not be interested in you anymore. Regarding the media, radio, I feel a lot of change happened in this country. When I first came here, I felt exactly the opposite way. An extremely supportive network of radio stations, journalists, magazines, and I can't tell you why it changed, just the music on radio and so forth. It completely changed during the last years, which might be just a trend or because of the people making the decisions in the stations. So it's very difficult to get in there, but Chris already got the answer. Nobody can ignore you once you become the new thing in the underground, you know. At some point, hip-hop has been underground, at some point, gone or whatever comes up was underground. Now you have some of those who are at the spearhead of that movement who suddenly make it to a popular artist who will get airplay. So I think it's, do your thing, and if it's unique, at some point you will succeed with it. And don't give up.
Just like to ask, with us, like we do more than one genre. We play everything. So we play hip hop, we play drum, we play trap, we play everything. Would that hurt my image somehow? Is it a must that I'm specialized in deep house? Is it a must that I specialize in hip hop?
It's absolutely not a must. We all listen to all kinds of music. We just made a decision for us that we only play what we really feel. if you feel all those genres, it's nothing wrong. The problem is that you are harder, or you are not really sticking out of the lot of.
They won't identify you.
Yes, you are hard to identify. Everybody knows how Chris sounds when he plays, and that's what made him popular and makes more promoters book him. So if you have a very specific style, no matter if you're a DJ, a producer, a lyricist, vocalist, if people can identify you, it's better than if they say, I know him, he plays nice, but he does everything. So how should I tell Rockefeller to book you if I can't even specify what you are exactly doing? Yes, I can say he's playing everything and he does it well, and maybe they have a night where they want everything, but usually it's way easier once.
You know, what we were trying to eliminate was that every time you go to, and for sure my house DJs know that it's way easier to mix house. Every second DJ starts mixing house, and then that's why we ran to like, okay, if there's already house, let me do hip hop, just so that I can stand out a bit.
I disagree with you there, because you know what? DJing is not about mixing, it's about the music. They'll join the DMC, I don't know, world competitions and do backflips. Brother, it's about the music. I don't think, I know DJs that I think are average mixers with the brilliant DJs. It's the music.
Yes, it's your track selection.
Otherwise anybody can play it.
Yes.
And today with laptops, everybody's a DJ.
I actually agree with you that there are other genres which are harder to mix. When I started out, I had a residency and they forced me to play various genres. So I played breakbeats, early breakbeats, early 90s on 160 or something, crazy music. I had to play it because customers wanted. And I find other genres harder to mix, but like Chris said, who cares about the mixing? If you play the wrong songs, you can be the greatest master mixer, but people will still not dance,
Chris and Ralf, I'm from a graphic design and advertising background. That's my daily bread and butter. I've interacted with DJs and producers, and then such campaigns like the FNB one with the SAMRO musicians. We having the interaction with them, I've developed a bug for the music industry. So I've realized I'm interested in artist management. Is the music industry an investing game? Or can you leave office every day?
It is. If you find the right people, if you find the right person, but you can't do it as a, just start roping in people. Find the talent. Like I said, it's the same thing as mentoring. Find the talent, right? Sometimes you can find a talent that has achieved something, but you can see him going there, and you take him there. So there is, and you can make money out of it. It is worth it. But once again, you've got to put those hours in. It's got to be the love and the belief in that person and the vision that you have. Sometimes you fail, and it happens that you do fail. But generally, eventually, with all the hurdles, you get there. It depends on what you're looking at. How much dollars am I going to make? Of course, it's a money game, so there has to be a certain amount of money. But the fact is, when passion is involved and money is put there as budgeting, and there is projections made, you'll be surprised that you actually break the roof when there is that passion, and that's how stars get born. The rest, a song by mistake becomes a star and he falls away. But stars, when you actually hear their story, the thing is we see them only once they're made. I'll give you a simple example. We've got 3 prime DJs who are playing internationally right now. Kulu, Black Coffee, Shimza. Let me tell you something. Let me talk from Black Coffee side. He went overseas for half the money he got here, and half the gigs he played for free. He invested his life to break into that market. Probably lost hundreds of thousands of rands. Right? You don't know about that. You thought they just booked him and he went and made himself popular. Didn't work that way. And the others as well. Some of them are still going for half the money they get here to break it in that market. So you see them and you think, wow, they're getting paid in dollars. Yes, now some of them are making the same money anywhere in the world, but they invested a lot of money, family away from family and so forth. So it's not that easy, you know, and they're still doing it. So when you want to do it, do it. Because if you're going to wait for somebody to book you from overseas, no, there's a big market there. Go there. You can only build yourself in a little area, next country, area again, and so forth. And like I say, when you see the end picture, it looks easy. It's not.
And I think to add up on what Chris said regarding your question, is it an investment? It depends who you choose at which stage. If you are able to become the manager of Black Coffee now, obviously there would be immediate income. If you take someone who is just talented but not on the big stages yet, and you need to take him there, and it might take 2 or 3 years to build him up to that point, obviously you will invest for that time. Either your time and or your money, both.
Okay, Chris.
Alright, so 1, 2, last, okay, 3, 4, done.
Okay, no, what I'd like to ask is that how much do I pay to distribute digitally, and how much do I get paid for?
You don't pay to distribute digitally. You put your song up and you get paid. So depending on the deal you have, whether it's a split, of course the person, whether let's say you got a direct deal with Traxels, they take a certain amount, whatever percentage is that's negotiated. But you don't pay a cent.
Okay.
You take your song, sign the deal, put it up, and they pay you per sale.
Okay.
That amount. Whether let's say it's 50,
also
50
have a recording a label that I've registered. So now I do have an account with Traxels and
then you should know.
So I want to know, with these artists that I'm going to sign on my recording label, should I register as my record label, or should I register them as individual?
Well, you're running a record label, so it should be done through your record label. And then according to what they pay you, you pay the artist according to the deal you have with them. It's very simple. Because Traxels will give you stats. Let's say they said for X artist you got 1,000 rand, and if you have a 50-50 deal with that artist, you will pay them 500, you'll keep 500, and so forth, or whatever it is. You know, so it's quite simple. It depends on the deal. The paperwork, they're very important. You know, but the digital sites, the contracts are pretty similar. The percentage very little, depending on how big you are, but very little, honestly.
And to throw out a number, if you go to a digital distribution, usually they take around 20% these days. At least internationally, I haven't worked with a local one, but that's what usually is the split they take. So 80% comes to you, which you then, like Chris said, split with your artist.
Okay, mine is not more of a question, it's actually kind of like a message to all of us. One of the few things I've realized is that our society is actually a very small circle, and if we can try and alter it so much, it will expand. And what I'm saying is we must try and keep it as much as it is for its own originality, you know, because if we try and alter it, we'll lose its own unique, you know. And one of the other things maybe I'd like to share is it is very important that all of us in here, we take the effort of knowing how to support each other, evidently so, because the underground scene is, like you said, it's unique, it has its own culture. You know, it's very important that we create a culture amongst ourselves and support ourselves. Such kind of workshops are more needed in order for us to engage and to alleviate each other through this industry. Yeah, thanks.
Thanks. I'd like to first thank you guys for giving us this opportunity. I've learned a lot. As I said alone, I'm a fan. So I'm just going to put Christos on the spot because I've been trying to follow him, but I can't keep up. How do I become one of the top 10 fans for you, because I follow you, your hat is coming, the Sakhe, standing in front, please shout to Christos, Christos. And I need you guys to understand, you need to follow your passion, and the money will follow you, that's it.
I follow you.
When you meet top 10 fans, I don't know, it's very difficult. Too much administration. I think, we thank you for the support and the love and everything. But, yeah, you know what? I think, for me, I appreciate fans, but it's really difficult to differentiate, who's bigger. And I don't think it matters, I think we need to try to love one another, respect what we all do, and if that's what we believe in, let's follow. Let's not die for photos, please. Hey, this photo story. Hey, yeah. You go to a gig and you can't play because they want to take photos while you play. And I went there to play, we'll do the photos if we can, before or after, but.
Yes, and sometimes I think you have to consider as well, if you like us and other people have a lot of followers, it's hard to follow up everything. I really try to be hands-on with the social media. I give everyone a like who leaves a comment and so forth, so I take note of it. But at some point, I can't spend my whole day on social media just putting together top 10s of fans or whatever, because then there wouldn't be time to put together a workshop, there wouldn't be time to produce music anymore, there wouldn't be time to play gigs anymore. So I think the music should still be the center, and as much as we obviously appreciate followers, you can't, personally interact with 300k followers on whichever platform.
Yes, then. Okay, my question now is, I'd like to find out for people that are much more interested in post-production, people that are interested in being in post-production, what advice do you guys kind of have for people
Post-production?
Post-production and post-production and mixing and mastering and everything. So basically, what I've learned is, now, like you said, a lot of kids come out and they say they're producers or whatever. They go out, they go to their home studios, they record, but the quality on the sound and everything is crap. And then, for me personally, I'll say I'm trying to move more into the engineering part of sound and everything. So I'm trying to move more into the engineering side of everything. So that's what I'm saying. For people that are much more interested in that, what advice could you give to them in terms of building your portfolio, in terms of reaching out to try and build your name such that you can work with other artists also, with the talent and the craft that you can bring? Besides your work, talking for you.
Because you said bedroom producers and sound is crap in one sentence. I want to say yes, there's a lot of crap out there, we know it, but you don't necessarily need a lot of equipment anymore to produce a good song.
My studio is in my bedroom.
Except for this, I would say, where do you start? You start like
Same way.
for a DJ in your
Same
hood,
way. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Start creating, being creative, pushing your work to people, and then they'll nab you. Talent doesn't go by the way, It's just like Ralf said earlier on, some people are just there to hit the limelight. But there's a lot that just missed it, but are doing well. If you know what I mean. So I don't know, is it really important? I don't care how limelighty I am, as long as I'm happy with how I'm doing, if you know what I mean. Because it's not, if I'm there, then I'm better than everybody else, because then something's confusing. Music is a preference. I might like a certain style, you don't. Doesn't mean you're wrong.
And your question was a bit as well, how do I get clients for mastering and stuff? And that's what I wanted to say. You start in your hood, There's a lot of music produced around us, and you start with them, you build your name, and once the quality speaks for itself, it will grow, It's the same if you're a producer and you want to work with a vocalist. You don't start by asking Beyonce. You start with someone here, you do some dope things which enable you to maybe ask more prominent or more well-known people, but it's a building process.
Last question.
My question is, I'm into artist management. My question is there any agent that we as artist managers need to register with, or we just work independently as well?
It's a business. So run it as a business. I think a lot of the legal guys went through the parts with you. Run it as a business. Everything paperwork, black and white. But you don't have to sign up with, not that I am aware of. I haven't. So I think you need to register your business, make sure you run it as a business and follow the tax laws and so forth, and those things. That's it. I'm not sure I doubt if there is.
I wouldn't know of it. What I think is important, once you start managing people, to contracts with them, like Chris said, put it on paper that you are managing him, because that person might just leave you after you invested 2 years and he's on the world stage, suddenly he's gone because he doesn't need you anymore. So make sure you have some paperwork as well when you get musicians, singers into your studio. Let them sign what you did. Write down the split with a signature, because it avoids just having hassles afterwards and fighting over percentages or fighting over people who now think they don't need your management services anymore.
Okay. I think that's it for this session. Thank you very much. The next session, radio, right?
Yes, radio. We welcome
Kid Fonque.
who's already here.
And Dr. Mabena.
Yes,